What would you say is your strongest doomsday argument for America's economy and what the average person should be doing about that? And then on the other side, the strongest argument for a flourishing economy over the next 10 years.
I think the strongest argument for a flourishing economy will navigate this technology and societal transition well, right? Like we're aware of the problem. We're gonna make the fixes. We're gonna invest and make sure the U.S. is at the center of these technological shifts, and we'll kind of like make the necessary adjustments to our policies to ensure that that's the case, making it easy for the best talent around the world to come here working for our companies, encourage capitalism, which means protecting it and making sure that more and more people are bought into the system as investors, which I think we can keep, we can play a strong role. And then GDP growth, inflects and actually compensates for the spending, and we balance the budget that way. So I think that's a nice scenario. Negative scenarios, you look at people losing confidence in our currency, getting into conflict, increasing spending much more aggressively and much further, losing talent to other countries that are more business friendly. Those are all negative things and could lead to instability.
So being able to have access to massive amounts of investor data, financial data, how do you think that people's personal financial approach will be completely different a decade from now with how fast things are moving? I'm sure you have your finger on the pulse of what people want to be investing in, the changes they want made.
I think that what we're seeing now is that a lot of our customers are heavily invested in innovation names on the public side. So you have NVIDIA, Tesla, Apple, Amazon. A lot of like Mag 7 investing is happening, and I think people are making a bet that those are going to be the industries that drive the future. And I think so far, at least this year, it seemed like a prescient bet. I think another lens is looking at what the wealthy people are doing. Wealthy people are diversifying. They're investing in private companies. They're investing in real estate, as I'm sure you guys know. I saw real estate in your chart as well, has done very, very well. So wealthy people have access to these things. And right now, retail investors on Robinhood have like not great access, admittedly. I think that's going to change, and we're going to open up the floodgates to that. And what that's going to do is I think there will be a positive downstream effect of more entrepreneurship. More people will be starting companies if you have access to retail capital and the $250 billion on Robinhood and other platforms. What I don't think will change is the appeal of investing. I think investing will become more attractive. It'll become more necessary. I think everything that we're seeing with AI, and even if you believe in these scenarios where you'll have large-scale labor force disruption, job loss in some sectors, you kind of saw a preview of what that looked like in 2020 at the beginning of COVID. And what happened was lots more people started investing in the markets. So I think that's a durable effect. And I think that if I had to guess, investing will be a much bigger portion of every individual's life 10 years from now than it is today.
Here's what I'm thinking, is that 10 years from now, we're going to have 24/7 trading, where I could go online or on Robinhood and trade at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I want to see shares prices go all the time.
Well, you basically already have that. I mean, we have 24-hour market, except on Saturdays and early part of Sundays.
Exactly. So I want more of that throughout everywhere. And then I also want it so that I could send individual shares from one person to another. So if I want to give Jack 1 share of Robinhood, I'm able to transfer it like I would a Venmo. And then lastly is, I think no one has been able to truly get real estate in such a way that you could like swipe up and buy something, or cut out all the middlemen involved in real estate, or somehow securitize a property. And every platform that I've seen I would never put my money in these things. But I think there's a way where you could turn a house into some sort of like a swipe up or co-ownership with people.
That third one I'm very interested in.
Yeah.
So it's a big opportunity.
I want to see a place where if real estate continues going at the same pace, that I could own a house with like 3 other people equally in a way that just works online. I don't know how that would work logistically, but I think that's the direction things are at least heading.
Yeah, and real estate's a big market, so it's a big potential. And if you look at high net worth individual, 10% of your portfolio is real estate. So yeah, I think that's one that I care about.
What are your plans to get into real estate?
Well, we have mortgages now through a partnership with Sage Home Loans, and I think that's been a good use case. Proves to us that our customers care about home ownership. They care about real estate, both in terms of like buying a home themselves, but also they think about it as an investment. So I think we'd get into it in 2 ways, and I'll speak to it generally. I think there's one viewpoint where it's an investment, and it's part of a diversified portfolio. And I think over time, as with any investment that's a part of your portfolio, we'll want to have access to the highest quality assets and make them available to retail. The other thing is there are certain investments, and people think about them as investments, but they're like physical things that people own. I mean, like watches is a good example. A lot of people invest in watches, they collect them. You invest in art, but maybe you don't really want 1/64th of a painting. You actually want to take custody of your art and hang it up on your house. Or you invest in classic cars, right? I mean, classic car market, collectibles market has been a very active market. And I think we'll want to open up access to that too, because there's a whole realm of investments that you think of as investments, but you want to hold it in your hand. I think we're starting to explore that a little bit in our banking product and with the credit card. Right now, you can redeem your rewards points into physical gold bars. And that's actually a very attractive offering to people, believe it or not. And of course, you can buy gold ETFs and get exposure, but there's something about holding a piece of gold in your hand and putting it in your safe that people really, really love. They like to touch and look at their investments. So we'll get into that as well in a bigger way.
But for mortgages, why not do that yourself? Why not do everything in-house?
Yeah, I mean, there's different parts of a mortgage, right? There's the servicing and the user experience, which actually means, selling you the mortgage, communicating the value of it, doing the billing, and putting it in your budget.
Right.
And I think that's integral to the customer experience in many ways. So I think over time you'll see us get deeper and deeper there, and we'll probably own the customer experience and the servicing. Then there's the actual loan itself, giving someone the money and taking that risk. And I just think like that's more of a utility product. There's thousands of banks and different types of lenders in the US that would be willing to compete for the actual economics of that. And I just think we might do some of it in the future, but Robinhood is less differentiated in providing the utility loan service.
But why not then allow other users to fund loans? I mean, like peer-to-peer lending of some sorts.
That's been tried before, for sure. I mean, Lending Club started with that model. And I think what they find over time is the peer-to-peer aspect becomes a little bit more of a gimmick. And the people that are like driving the volume tend to be sort of like institutional lenders and players that have large amounts of money. I think individuals are less interested in these types of loans as sort of like investment opportunities. I mean, we don't hear them being in high demand. They'd prefer to invest in other things. But if it changes and suddenly, we have all these assets and we want to give customers the option to, invest in loans or fund them, the philosophy is like go where customers are demanding, and if they want that type of selection, we'd certainly consider it.